Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today afternoon news for Tuesday, November 28th. I am Mary-Claire Williams. We begin with news that the National Union of Public Workers is reporting progress in their negotiations to appoint workers at the Sanitation Service Authority. Following a 3-hour meeting at the union's headquarters this morning, President Akani McDowell told reporters that management has given the assurance that the workers will be appointed by the end of this month. This was one of 3 issues discussed at this morning's talks. McDowell says another was the collective bargaining agreement, and they are now awaiting additional information before that matter can be settled.
We agreed that there were still some additional information that needed to be placed within the agreement, and that the agreement still had to go through one more process before it was agreed to by the management of SSA. So that is still pending.
The meeting also discussed the situation of 61-year-old Michael Stewart, who was suspended last year. The union had taken up his case in a bid to have him reinstated, but Stewart has since decided to retire.
Of course, this was a very difficult decision for me because we were willing and ready to fight for him. I felt that Michael Stewart would have been wronged, but at the end of the day, a man has to listen to his wife. I believe that family members come first, and if they are advising him that he should retire, then he should take that advice. And although we would be willing to fight for Mr. Stewart, we cannot fight for Mr. Stewart if he is not willing to accept us fighting for him.
In other news this afternoon, police are seeking the public's assistance in locating a St. Michael man who is wanted in connection with serious crime. Wanted is Jermaine Ryan Gill, also known as Tall Man of Haynes Hill, Map Hill, St. Michael. Police say he is about 6 feet tall, medium built and brown skinned. He also wears dreadlocks and has a scar under the right eye. Gill is advised that he can present himself to the police at District A police station, accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Jermaine Ryan Gill is asked to contact the District A police station at 430-7242 or 430-7595. You can also call the police emergency number 211 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or the nearest police station. Meanwhile, police are continuing their search for 22-year-old Shaquille O'Neal Orlando Cumberbatch of 3rd Avenue, Paris Gap, Westbury Road, and Golden Rock Pine, St. Michael. Cumberbatch is 6 feet tall, slim and dark, and he has tattoos of the words Shaq and A-Team on his right arm and one of teardrops under his right eye, and also a tattoo on the right side of his neck. Cumberbatch is advised to present himself to the Blackrock police station, accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice. Anyone who may know the whereabouts of Cumberbatch is asked to contact the Blackrock police station at 417-7500 or 417-7501. You can also call police emergency number 211, Crime Stoppers, or the nearest police station. And police are also reminding the public that it is a serious offense to harbor or assist wanted people, and anyone caught doing so can be prosecuted. University of the West Indies Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, believes the economic conditions imposed on the region by the International Monetary Fund are among the main reasons for the failure of West Indies cricket. Beckles was speaking at the launch of his new book last night, Cricket Without a Cause, and he said there is a link between the living circumstances of regional youth and the IMF programs that they grew up under.
Almost every country in the Caribbean in the 1990s, in the decade of decline, almost every country was under an IMF program in one way or another, to one level of intensity or another. The IMF had taken over the Caribbean because our economies were all collapsing. And you all know the recipe of an IMF program. You have to cut public expenditure, you have to cut public health, public education, urban development. In other words, all IMF programs everywhere in the world are about the state cutting the poor away from public expenditure, weaning the poor off the revenue of the state. And these are the societies that have been cut off by the governments, left to fend for themselves in poverty. These are the societies, these are the communities that are producing the cricketers.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. And we go to Grenada, where the government says it is disappointed at the failure so far to get compensation for policyholders of the collapsed colonial life insurance company CLICO and the British American insurance company BICO. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell raised the matter in his budget presentation on Monday. He said governments continue to view the collapse of the two insurance companies as a regional problem which requires a regional solution. Earlier this year, the Trinidad government defended its decision to seek a court-appointed liquidator with the assets of CL Financial Company, saying it was seeking to ensure that taxpayers are not on the losing end of a $14 billion interest-free loan. And finally, riot police in Kenya sealed off an area where the opposition planned a rival gathering as President Uhuru Kenyatta was inaugurated earlier today. Kenyatta won a second term last month in a repeat presidential election, which was boycotted by the opposition leader Raila Odinga, who said it would not be free and fair. The Supreme Court nullified the first election in August over irregularities. That's news this afternoon. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good afternoon.